Hello everyone, this is Muhammad Fahimbinamin. Today I'm going to show you a simple project using JavaFX. Now I know that many of you might have not any experience using JavaFX, but don't worry. First of all, let me clarify you what I'm going to build today and why I'm going to record this video. All right. So first of all, this is my desktop and let me simply open my IntelliJ IDEA IDE and let me show you something first. So the project I'm going to show you today was the project that I created on my advanced object oriented programming language labs quiz test. All right. So first of all, let me show you what is this project and what it actually does. All right. So let's say I'm simply running this program. All right. And you see that let me use the magnify so that you can understand how it actually looks. All right, so this is the application. You see the title based conversion calculator, and at the initial stage this level shows no input because we haven't provided any input here at all. All right, now I can see 6 buttons here. The first button here is B, which actually converts the actual value the user gives to a binary value, and it shows the value here. Let me show you first. Let's say I'm writing I'm writing 58, and if I simply click on B, it's giving me the binary value. If I click on H, it is giving me the hexadecimal value. If I click on O, it is giving me the octal value, and I can clear it also. If I simply click on clear, the box gets cleared and it again represents no input because the input has also been cleared. All right, now if I simply click on this next screen button, then I'm getting another screen, and here I'm getting a prompt just to test if you can get to the next screen. And I'm getting another button here, go back. If I simply click on this, I am returning to the main window. That's it. And yeah, if we simply click on exit, the whole program gets exit. All right, now what I was telling you earlier, I did this small project as the solution of my quiz test at my university. But I was thinking about doing the same project for you also so that I can show you how it actually works. And if you can understand how it actually works, you may implement some short project using JavaFX easily. All right. Before starting this project, let me simply run this project again, and let me simply take some screenshots so that I can use it to model my project. All right, next screen. That's it. Now, before proceeding further, let me show you another thing which I think you should understand how it works. All right, so let me simply run this program first, and let me show you something. Let me open the magnify application first. For example, let's say I'm giving an invalid input. Let's say I'm giving a symbol which is actually not a number, and if that is actually not a number, then I can't convert it to binary or hexadecimal or octal or anything else because it is not a number. So how can I convert that, right? So I want the application to show the user that it is an invalid input. So let's say I have provided a symbol and it is actually not a number. You can see it, right? So if I simply click B, I mean, I am trying to convert it into a binary value, then it provides invalid input. Let me simply clear it again. Let's say I'm providing some number, and with that number, I'm providing an invalid input. Let's say JK, I mean alphabet. We can't convert this alphabet to octal or hexadecimal because those are not numbers, right? So if I simply try to convert them, it's giving me invalid input. So I have to make sure to implement that as well. That's it. So now's the time to apply our knowledge to create this program exactly from the scratch. All right. Now for this project, I'm going to use Scenebuilder to design my fxml file. All right. Now, if you are also using IntelliJ IDEA IDE or in any famous IDE, you can use the inbuilt scene builder, but I prefer to use the scene builder from Gluon. All right, so I would recommend you to install that as well. Now, you might have a question that how you can do that. Well, there's a simple way to do that. Let me show you first. All right, so simply open a web browser. Let me open the magnify again and simply search for the builder. That's it. And you have to go to the first website of gluonhq.com, and from here you need to simply download the scene builder. All right, if you are using a Windows operating system or Linux operating system or a Mac operating system, doesn't matter, simply click on download now, and from here download the appropriate version for your platform. I mean, if you are using a Windows operating system like me, you need to download the Windows installer. From here, if you are using a Mac operating system, then you can choose Intel or Apple Silicon one. If you are using Linux, then you can use the Linux RPM or Debian one, and this is also available in the Arch user repository. That means AURR, right? And you can also use the Java builder kit, but I don't recommend it. All right, so after downloading the Gluon scene builder, simply install it, and the installation process is exactly the same like you install any other typical software on your operating system. All right, and after that I have to mention, I have to specify the path of that scene builder to my IntelliJ IDEA IDE. Now, let me also clarify you that for this project, I'm going to use the IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate version, which is a paid version, by the way. But if you are a student, you can use this freely by using your university, educational Gmail account. But if you don't have any access to the premium version, don't worry. IntelliJ IDEA has a completely free version, which is the community version, and you can use that version as well. All of the processes are exactly the same, and you won't face any type of caveats. All right, so let me simply close the browser for now. And after installing the Gluon scene builder, what you need to do, you need to simply search for scene builder, right? And simply you can right click here and click on open file location, and from here I'm getting a shortcut file. I need to simply right click on the shortcut file, and I need to go to properties, and from here I need to copy this path target. All right, you can simply click on this and use Ctrl A and Ctrl C to copy the whole path. This is for the Windows users only. All right, and let me simply open IntelliJ IDEA, and you can open the settings. You can use, you can click here, and from here you can click file and settings. The shortcut is Ctrl Alt S, so I'm simply gonna use Ctrl Alt S. All right, and the setting tab has been appeared. All right, now simply go to language and frameworks, and from here go to JavaFX, and in the path to scene builder you need to simply paste the scene builder path. Now as I have already done this, so this is actually here. All right, and if you are wondering whether you can get the same UI as I am using right now, you can also get that. Simply go to appearance and behavior, and from here click in new UI, and you have to simply enable it. All right, now after that you have to simply click on apply and okay, and that's it. Now if you have followed me till now, then I can pretty much assume that you have already finished creating your environment on your operating system, whether you are using Windows operating system or Linux operating system or Mac operating system. All right, now let me simply dive into the project. So first of all, I would prefer to use a different GitHub repository where I would push all of my changes. And normally I use git bash or the Windows PowerShell as I have opened here. But many of you might be wondering whether you can do that using IntelliJ IDEA as well. Well, you can do that. So I will show you how I am going to create a new repository, and I'm going to commit and push all of the changes from my IntelliJ IDEA directly there. So simply follow me. Now if you are also wondering how I managed to create this type of post Windows terminal theme, I have also created a video about it on my channel. You can simply check that out. All right, now now I need to simply open my GitHub, and I can click on this plus icon, and as I'm going to create a new repository, so I'm simply gonna click new repository. Now let me simply hide my taskbar as well, so that's it. Now we are out of any kind of distractions, right? So first of all, I need to select the owner. As I am already connected with multiple GitHub organizations, so they are prompting me whether I want to create a repository within my own personal GitHub account, or I want to create any GitHub repository within my any GitHub organization. But as I'm going to create a repository in my personal account, so I need to simply click on owner and select Fahim API. That's it. And now I need to provide a name for this repository. Let's say what I'm actually gonna do here is that I'm gonna create a base calculator, binary, octal, hexadecimal, right? So I can simply name it uh, base calculator. Base calculator. That's it. And for now, I'm gonna make it public anyway. And in the description, let me provide a good description. Uh, base calculator Java application, sorry, base calculator desktop application using JavaFX, and what it can do: binary, octal, and hexadecimal. All right, I think this is enough. Public, I'm not gonna create any readme file, I'm not gonna choose any git ignore, and I'm not gonna choose any license for now, but obviously I will do that later, and I will show you how to do that as well. All right, now simply click on create repository. All right, the repository has been created, but as I haven't initialized any readme file or license, so it is looking kind of empty, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how it works. All right, so let me simply open my IntelliJ IDEA, and I'm simply gonna create a new project. So I'm simply gonna click on file, new project. Now let me simply click on JavaFX, and let me choose a location for it. Let's say I'm gonna create on this desktop, and I'm simply gonna name it what I was gonna name it, base calculator. Now let me name it something like base calculator JavaFX. Okay, double click on it so that it can understand that I'm gonna create the project inside this folder. All right, now simply click on OK and name it to, let's say, base calculator. That's it. Language Java, build system Maven. Now maybe you are struggling to see what I am writing here if you are using a lower resolution, so let me simply open the magnify again. So let's see, I've selected JavaFX from the generators. I have named it Java, I mean base calculator. I have initialized the location. I'm gonna create a Git repository, and Java build system Maven group. Let me change the group name from com.example to com.base calculator. That's it. Artifact base calculator JDK. I am using Oracle OpenJDK version 19.2.2. All right, now if you can't understand how to install JDK, I have also written an in-depth article on FreeCodeCamp. You can check that out as well. Simply search that in Google. All right, now I can simply click on next. All right, additional libraries, I'm gonna skip all of them and create, let's say, this window, and it has opened everything here. All right, now it is syncing everything, and it will install the dependencies if it find the necessity for doing that. I can simply close the magnify for now because I think you'd be able to see what I'm gonna do here after all. All right. So first of all, this has generated some boilerplates, and let me show you how it actually works. Now, at the left side, I have got my project panel, the commit panel, structures, more tool for Windows, dependencies endpoint, and so on. I don't need to worry about that right now. I can simply close the terminal. Sorry about that. And from here I can check my source main java com.calculator.base calculator. If I simply expand to this directory, I'm getting two java application. One is hello application and another one is hello controller. Now this hello application actually contains the main method. I mean, whenever I'm gonna run this project, it gonna run the hello application by default because it has the main method. And in the hello controller method, what it actually does is it controls everything the GUI window has. Let me show you something first. As I have told you, this has already created a boilerplate for you actually. Now if I simply right click here, or you can right click in the hello application and click on run hello application, and it would simply open a GUI which has been generated by default. I mean, whenever you create any kind of JavaFX template using IntelliJ IDEA, it generates this default template. And what we actually do is that we use this template to build our own things. All right. So the title says hello. If I click on hello, welcome to JavaFX application. All right. Now, I think it's better to push the boilerplate to GitHub first, because I actually like it this way, because it might be possible that I might mess up things, and if I do so, I have some place to check what was the code earlier, right? I can use that template or boilerplate. All right. So how you can push that? Simply click on commit and changes. All right, I can click on this would select all of the changes, and let me provide a commit message. Let's say project initialized, and I can simply click on commit and push. If I simply click on this, it's analyzing the code and it's asking me for providing the remote URL. All right, now I need to paste the URL. So where I can get the URL? Remember, I just have created a new repository for it. So I can simply go there and I can provide this URL. Simply paste it and simply click on OK. All right, it has got that. Now if I simply click push, it's pushing everything there. You can see it pushed master to new branch origin master. Now let me check whether I've got everything here or not. If I simply reload this tab, you see that I have got everything I wanted right here. All right, now I need to create that project. For this purpose, I have already taken two screenshots of my project. Now let me show you those. So this, first of all, I'm gonna try to build this. So how can I do that? Now, yeah, you can modify this hello application and hello controller, but as I have just told you, I don't like to mess around with this boilerplate. So what I actually do, I actually create multiple classes, another class, so that I can work on my new class, and if something bad happens, I can always go back to hello application and hello controller and I can check what I actually did wrong comparing to the boilerplate, right? So but if you want, you can delete them right now or later as well. So I will create those classes under this directory com.calculator.pageCalculator. So I can simply right click here and click new and Java class. Now let's say I'm gonna name it main landing. Do you want to add the following files to Git? Alright, don't ask again. I want everything to be added to Git for now. Alright, main landing has been appeared. Now I need another controller class. So I can simply create another Java class and I can name it main landing controller, so that I can understand that this Java file contains the controller for the main landing class. Alright, but obviously you can name it whichever you want based on the convention always. But I would recommend you to use relevant names so that you can understand what you actually did in which file, right? So that's it. And now what I actually do, I would use the boilerplate from sorry again, hello application to main landing. Only for that reason I have kept these two files intact. All right. Now before copying the codes, let me create an fxml file for it. Now simply expand the resource directory and under this com.calculator base calculator, simply right click on this new and fxml file. Now let me simply name it like main landing view. Okay, main landing view fxml. All right. Now obviously you can change the name as well always, but I would also recommend you to use relevant names so that you or other who are going to view your project can understand what you actually did and in which file you did what, right? So if I simply click on hello view, you can see that this has a controller and this controller specifies which controller Java file it uses. I have to do the same thing in this main landing view fxml as. Alright, so I can simply click main landing view fxml and in the fx controller I can delete this and I have to provide the controller class of this, which is main landing controller. Alright, so I can simply type main and you can see that it is already started to provide me the suggestions I need right now. So I can simply use this suggestion from here, which is main landing controller. That's it. All right. Now I need to change these codes as well. So I can simply go to hello application and I can simply copy all of them and I can simply select all of them, delete them and paste. All right, now you see that the name has been changed as it has got hello application from here. So the public, as the public class is hello application, it has renamed the file as hello application, but we can't have multiple file with the same name because Java is also a case sensitive language. All right, so I have to revert the public class to which was earlier main landing, like this. So it works. And I am gonna do the same thing for the main landing controller as well. So I can simply go to hello controller, copy all of those and go to main landing controller and select all of those and paste it here. The name has already been changed as I have changed the public class, so I need to change it as well. So what the class name was earlier, that was main landing controller. That's it. All right, so as I have used the same data on the hello application hello controller, I mean from hello application and hello controller to my new classes main landing and main controller. Therefore if I open the main landing, I mean if I simply run the main landing Java file, I am getting the exact same output as I got in the hello application. So therefore you can't see any changes, but let's say I'm gonna change the title from hello to hello from main landing, and if I simply run this main landing now, you can see the difference in the title name hello from main landing. But if I did it from hello application, the title would be hello as earlier. So you can understand the difference, right? Now I need to make the changes based on my need. So I can simply go to main landing, and from here I also need to change the fxml loader from here as well. So this time the fxml loader would be main landing view dot fxml. This main landing view dot fxml, it should work. All right, now let me go to the main landing view fxml main landing controller. All right, now whenever I run this main landing dot java, it loads the main landing view fxml. Now if you are uncertain about writing the file name correctly, you can simply right click on this and click copy, and you can simply use Ctrl V to paste the name here. All right, now let me change the title from here to the project title, and that is base conversion calculator. So I can simply change the title from this to base conversion calculator. That's it. Now I need to design the UI. So how can I do that? I can simply right click on main landing view fxml, right click on that, and open in Scenebuilder, and it has opened the fxml file in my Scenebuilder. Now I need to modify it so that I can get this result. So first of all, I can simply open a text area. Sorry, I can use a text field. Text field. Now let me design it nicely. I can simply use Ctrl P to view the output. I can also do that using preview and show preview in window, Ctrl P. That's it. And all right, maybe I have done some mistakes. All right, I would see it later. And I have already done this part, so I need to add a label here where it would show no input or the result from the conversion. So I can use a label, simply drag and drop it here, and change the size. Now let me simply change something more. Simply click on the text field and go to, sorry, I have opened the CSS file. I have enabled the CSS field mistakenly. So for that I need to delete the fxml file, but you don't have to do it if you don't get the problem like me. All right, so I can simply do not save, and let me simply open it again, open in Scenebuilder. Let's see, I think it's new like earlier. Now I can simply add a text field. Yes, it is working. So I can expand the text field like this, and I can change it like this. All right, if I simply click Ctrl P, I can see it like right, and I can increase the font size by clicking here and go to font, and from here family, let's say system, style, let's say regular, and I can increase the size, let's say 24. Let's see, yeah, it looks good. Now I need to add a label here, so I can simply drag and drop the label here, and I can expand it in size like this. I can merge it with the earlier. All right, now let me simply check the project again. By default it would show no input and at the middle of this label box. So how can I do that? I can change the label from here to no input. If you want, you can change the text from here as well. If I simply click on Ctrl S, it would save it. Now I need to increase the size, so I can simply go to font and let's say 24. Nope, more than that, let's say 36. Yeah, it looks good. I can change the style to bold if I want, and I can simply add spaces to make it centered here. Let's also change it from this alignment, center alignment. All right, let's see, Ctrl P. I can simply move it to like this. Yeah, it looks good. Now what I need to do, I need to add 6 buttons here. So I can simply search for button, add a button, let's say like this. Another button, let's say, I don't think these two are the same. This looks bigger than this, right? Let me resize it again like this. Don't overlap one button with another. I think it looks pretty good, right? So I have to use more buttons. I can use them like this. Another one, this. Yes. All right, now I need 2 more buttons. Let's say this and this. Ctrl S to save and Ctrl P to preview. Yeah, I have got all of the buttons I need right now. All right, now I need to change the button name. Let me check the project output again. BHO next screen. So double click here. You can change the text from here as well, and you can change the text from here as well. B H, Ctrl S to save, and O next screen. O next screen, and then exit and clear. Exit and clear. Now let me increase the fonts. So I can simply click any button and go to font, and I can change the font size. Let's say 36. No, it looks way bigger. 24. Yeah, it looks somewhat good. 24. Yep, I can change these as well. 24, 24, 24, 24, 24. That's it. Control F to save. Don't forget that. All right. Now I know that our project states that the button's name would be B for binary, H for hexadecimal, O for octal. But for the better understanding, I can change the name from B to binary, H to hexadecimal, O to octal, right? I can do that. So let me simply do that right now. Binary, Control S to save. Hexadecimal, Control S to save. Octal, Control S to save. That's it. So This is the output. It looks sick. Now I need to simply use many things. Let's say for now, let's say if I press the exit button, I want the program to quit. So I can simply click on exit, click on code. From here I need to provide a ID. Let's say I am providing the name exit button, Ctrl S to save, and let's see, clear it, exit on exit button, Ctrl S. It has been saved. Now if I simply click on view and click show sample, Ctrl S click on, I need to use this fxml code. I need to only choose this fxml code. How you can understand that you are selecting an fxml code? Simply search for @ of fxml. You have to simply copy those copy those and go to IntelliJ IDEA. You can see that what we did in our Scenebuilder file, all of them has been generated as CSS files in this main landing view fxml. We don't need to worry about it right now. I can simply go to main landing controller, and yeah, I needed to delete those earlier, and I can simply paste those here. Now I'm getting some red warnings. Simply click on those red warnings and click Alt and enter. It would generate those as well. All right, so now I can again open my Scenebuilder and click exit, and on action click, let me simply jump right here, private button, exit button. Simply close the Scenebuilder and reopen it again, main landing vfxml, right click on it, open in Scenebuilder. Now click exit, and on action I'm gonna use the same method name, or yeah, I can use different method name. Let's say exit main landing. Now simply use Ctrl S to save it and click view, show sample, Ctrl S skeleton. Now simply copy this new code, new fxml code, and I need to paste it in my main landing controller class. Simply Ctrl V to paste it. Simply click on action event, Alt enter to import the class, or you can simply click on import class. That's it. All right, so I want that if the user clicks the exit button, it would simply system.exit. It would simply exit the code. System.exit status 0, that means it has been exited successfully. Now let me check whether it works or not. Simply go to main landing. Now I can assume that you can understand, whenever I would want to open this application from my Java, I need to open the main landing, not controller, because this main class has the main method. All right, now I can simply right click on it and run main landing. Now you see that I'm not getting the full-sized application. I am getting only a portion of it. Now that's because I have specified that I want the default resolution of it 320 into 240 in the scene. But if I don't want that, I can simply delete this resolution. It would generate the default view. But if you want to restrict the resolution, you can use resolution here as it for your project. All right, if I simply run this code, you see that I'm getting the perfect application which I wanted. Now I know that this doesn't look perfect because there are some gaps here and there. You can change those however you want. Now yeah, I am running this code to see whether this exit button works or not, because I have specified that whenever user press the exit button, it would simply exit the program. Now if I simply click exit, this exits the code suite, right? And I can simply open the Scenebuilder and I can make sure to resize these properly so that it won't has any spaces between them, like this, and I can also reduce the size. Use Ctrl S to save, or you can use file and save. I have already saved it, so the save has been grayed out. Now if I simply run this code from my IntelliJ IDEA, you see that I'm not getting any spaces, any extra spaces which I was getting earlier. All right, now I can simply commit these changes to my GitHub account because it's already 1:44 a.m. and I have a really important task to do in the morning, so I need to sleep. And as I'm going to sleep, but I don't want to lose any progress, so I would prefer to push the changes on my GitHub. But don't worry, I would make sure to complete the project and compile all of the videos all together and upload it on my YouTube channel. All right, so I can use a relevant commit message. Before that, I can simply click all of those changes, and let's say what I can do, completed. All right, complete UI for new landing page and activate data. All right, what I can do, activate exit button, exit action button. Now commit and push for warnings, review code analysis. All right, let me simply close the fxml file from the Scenebuilder. Now let's say reload again, checks failed. Well, main landing view, commit, commit. I actually don't need to worry about this because I would review that later. But yeah, I can do another thing, is that I can make the button name and the method name same so that it won't look like that those are different. So let me do that again. Simply open the fxml file on my Scenebuilder and let me simply go to exit and use the same fxid to the action button, Ctrl S to save, click view and show sample controller. So I can simply use this. I can safely exit this Scenebuilder and I need to change this. Now what I want is that whenever user press the exit button, it will simply exit the code. Let me check it again. If I simply run the code and I click exit, it exits successfully, so it works. All right, now I can simply go to commit and commit this, commit anyway, and push. All right, so all of the changes till now has been updated here. You can see all of those changes by clicking on commit, and you can also see what I did where. All right, so that's it, and I have to modify the next changes pretty soon. So welcome again. This is another day after I have recorded the first part of this video. All right, so first of all, let me simply run the program again and let me show you how's that work for now. Yeah, we have simply implemented the exit button. What this exit button does is that whenever we click this exit button, the whole program exits successfully. All right, so that's what we did earlier. Now it's time to configure the other buttons as well. So let me simply run this again. Now what I can do, I can simply configure this binary button so that whenever the user presses the binary button, it converts the value the user gives and provides the output in the binary. All right. And I also have to implement a feature. What it would do is that if the user provides any invalid input, we have to provide invalid input here, right? Let's say I'm providing some integer number. Whenever I click on binary, this should provide the binary value. But if the user provides any invalid number, let's say a symbol, or let's say any letter or anything else that is not a number, then what should happen is that whenever the user presses the binary button, it would print invalid input. I need to do the same thing for this hexadecimal and octal button as well, but I can do that later. For now, let me simply implement this binary button function. All right. So let me simply open my main landing view fxml in my Scenebuilder like this. Open in Scenebuilder. All right. It has opened. And let's say I'm clicking on this binary button and fx id, let's say I'm gonna name it something like binary button, and I will use a method using the same name, binary button. All right, let me clear it and do the same thing again, binary button. All right, it should work. Now let me simply go to view, show sample controller skeleton, and yeah, pivot button, binary button. I can simply add that here, private button, binary button, and then I can simply copy this fxml, sorry, this binary button method. So I can simply use that here. And now I need to configure how I want it to handle the binary buttons processes. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna take the input from the user as a string. So let me declare a string variable, let's say string input. And all right, before proceeding further, I need to specify the variable name of this text field or text area, text field, because I need to get the value from this text field and I need to consider whether the value is uh, valid for converting it to binary or not. If it is not valid, I'm gonna print invalid input here, but if it is valid, I'm simply gonna convert that to binary and add it in this level. So I need to define the variable name of this text field and this label field as well. So for example, first of all, I'm gonna select this text field and let me simply name it something like user input, and I'm gonna use the same method here, user input. All right, user input, user input. All right, now let me do another thing also. Simply click on this label and let me give it name like output panel. Yeah, output panel, and I'm gonna use the same name on, yeah, output panel. Output panel looks good most probably. Let me simply save it. Sorry, let me clear it again and Ctrl S to save it again. Now simply go to view, show sample controller skeleton. Now let me simply grab all of them from here. I know that many of the functions, I mean many of the methods are already implemented in my code, but I'm gonna handle that right now. All right, let me show you how. First of all, I'm simply gonna paste all of them here, and I can delete the redundant button name or method, right? Let's say exit button and binary button, I have already those, so I can simply delete those. and I have already implemented the exit button, so I don't need that right now. All right, now simply click on this red uh, red colored field and Alt enter to implement the class. All right, so that's it. And now I need to implement the binary buttons here, binary button method. So what I can tell that first of all, I'm gonna declare a string variable, let's say string input, and what it will do is that it would simply grab the text the user provides in our user input, and then I'm gonna convert it into a string value. All right, so equal to user input dot get text. All right, let me show you first. Whenever the user provides something here, the binary button, I mean, if I simply press on the binary button, what it would do, it would simply convert that value to string. Then I would check whether I can change it to binary or not. If I can, I have to change it to binary and replace the text in the label so that it can show the output in binary. All right, so for now I can simply use try and catch block. So first of all, let me declare a decimal variable to convert that integer to, I mean, to convert that string to integer. I mean, in line number 31, I have taken the value from the user as string, but if I want to convert it into some numerical, I mean numeral value, I need to convert it into an integer first. All right, so for that reason, I'm gonna declare this variable integer decimal, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use integer dot %int, and what I'm gonna percent the input. So it would simply convert this text to an integer value, and it would store the value in this decimal variable. All right, but if it can't do that, for example, the user provides any symbol that can't be converted into any number, or the user has been provided let's say some letters that can't be converted into number as well. So in that case, it would get an exception, and it would show me the exception in the exception section. All right, and here what I wanna do is that I'm gonna change the output panel's text to something like invalid input. All right, so that the user can understand that he or she already has inserted an invalid input. All right, now let me configure the try block again. So I have already converted the string into into an integer value, and now I need to convert it into binary. So let's say I'm going to declare another string variable, let's say string binary, and equals to, yeah, if I want to convert that data into a binary value, I can use a manual conversion method, but lucky for us, the Java has already inbuilt method or function, whatever you want to call it, to convert that value. I mean, convert any decimal value, of course, legit and convertible decimal value into binary value. So I'm gonna simply use that for now. So string binary equal to integer dot to binary string, and which value I need to convert to binary string, the decimal value, right? So I'm gonna simply provide this. So what it actually do, it would simply convert this decimal value into binary, and it would store the binary value in this binary variable. All right, and now what I need to do, I need to provide this value in the output panel. So output panel set text and binary and string like this. Cool. Now if I want, all right, before going there, let me show you whether it actually works or not. Now let me simply run this code, and here it is. Let me use the magnifier. All right, now let's say 34. I'm clicking on binary, I'm getting the binary value. let's say I'm providing any input, any invalid input like a dollar sign. Dollar sign cannot be converted into a numerical value, so that it also impossible for converting it into binary. So it should show me that if I simply click on binary, it's saying invalid input. Cool, it works. Now, for example, I want this invalid input to be appeared in the middle. So what I can do, I can add some spaces before this invalid input. Let's say like this, and let me simply run it again. For example, hash binary invalid input. Yeah, I can add another space, I guess. Now let's say, yeah, it looks cool. Now let me show you another thing. I am clicking 4 and clicking binary. The value is showing at the left hand side in the left alignment. If I want, I can make it to appear in the middle. What I can do, I can simply add spacing before printing here like this. If I simply run this again, sorry, uh let's say 3, I can add more spacing before that. Let me simply test it again. Let's say, yeah. But for now, I'm not gonna worry about this spacing at all, so I can simply ignore this extra spacing. But if you want that, you can add spacing as you see fit for yourself. I've already taught you how to do that. I know you can do that, right? So yeah, I have successfully configured my binary button. Now I need to do the same thing for the other buttons as well. So let's say now I'm gonna configure the hexadecimal button, right? So let's say I'm gonna give it a name. Let's say hexadecimal, and I'm gonna use the same name on the action as well. Clear, Control S to save. All right. Now let me simply get the code from view, show sample, Control S skeleton. Now I need to use this hexadecimal and private button hexadecimal. First of all, let me implement the hexadecimal button here. All right. Yeah, now I can simply get the method for this hexadecimal button from here, and let's say I'm gonna keep it here, and now I need to configure it. So I can use the same thing I have used earlier. I can simply copy and paste because the basic thing is the same. What I need to do, I need to simply change it from to binary to hexadecimal. All right. So what I can do, yeah, I'm getting the input from the user using getText method, and in the try block, let's say integer decimal equal to integer percent, but as I'm gonna, all right, it looks good. Integer percent input, fine. Now I can change the variable name from string binary to, let's say, in string hexadecimal. It's optional, but I'm gonna use relevant variable names anyway to understand what it does and what is actually going on under the hood, right? So string hexadecimal equal to integer, not to binary string. Now for for this button, I want to hex string, to hex string. So it would simply convert the decimal value to a hexadecimal value, and it would uh, provide this hexadecimal value in the panel. That's it. So it's also configured. Now let me simply run and check whether it's working or not. Let's say 67 hexadecimal. Cool. If I provide any invalid input, it's telling me that the value is invalid. So cool. I have successfully configured my hexadecimal button. Now I need to do the thing for octal. So what I can do is that I can simply click on this octal button from my Scenebuilder, and I need to provide a ID. So let's say which ID would look suitable here. Let's say I'm gonna name it octal button, and I'm gonna use the same thing in the octal action. Simply click here, clear, and Ctrl S to save it again. Cool. Now let me simply go to view, show sample controller skeleton. Now let me simply grab this private button, octal button, and add it in the between. And then I need to grab the function, octal button function. That's it. And I can use the method here. I can simply copy and paste the previous thing here because I need to change a simple thing from here. What I need to change, I need to simply change these two hex string to octal string, and I need to change the variable name to understand what it actually does. All right, so the previous things are the same. I need to change the variable name, let's say string, string octal. So what it does, integer to octal string. It converts the value from decimal to octal, and in the output panel it provides the octal value, and if something bad happens it provides invalid input. Cool, right? So let me simply run this code and check whether it's working or not. Let me simply open the magnify to show you how it works. All right, let's say 56. I'm clicking on octal, it's providing me the octal value. Now if I give something inappropriate which is not convertible to octal, and if I try to make it octal, it provides invalid input. Cool. Now we have successfully converted the binary, hexadecimal, and octal buttons code, right? Now I need to configure this next screen. I have already configured the exit button. Now I need to configure the clear button. All right, now let me see whether I have already added the clear button or not. No, I haven't done that. Now let me do that real first. Simply click on clear. Now let's say the ID look like something, let's say clear button. I'm gonna use the same name in the function. Simply click here, clear, and Ctrl S to save it again. Cool. Now let me simply go to view, show sample controller skeleton. Now let me grab that clear button stuff XML private. I can simply add it here, and now I need to grab the method from here. Here, clear button. I can simply copy and I can simply paste it here. I can simply delete this user input method because I don't need it right now. Clear button. What it actually does, first of all, it clears the user panel. So user input dot set text to this empty string. Now let me simply show you how it works. All right, let me keep it here and let me run it again. Let's see. Yeah, I can't delete this method even though I am not using it. I have to keep it here. All right, so yeah, I'm keeping it right here, and I'm implementing the clear buttons function again. Sorry, user input dot set text to empty string. Now let me simply run this again. Now let's say I'm providing something, and if I simply click on clear button, it's clearing the panel, but it's not providing anything here. Let's say I'm providing invalid input and I'm trying it to convert into actual. It's telling me invalid input. Now if I clear this, it clears only the user input panel, but it's not making any changes to levels. So I need to make that happen as well. So what I can do is that I can simply copy this output panel set text invalid input, and I can add it here, and I have to change it from invalid input to no input, like this. Now let's see whether it's working or not? Clear, no input. Yeah, it works perfectly, but I need to add more spacing so it looks like it is in the center. Let's say like this. Yeah, it looks kind of perfect. All right, but if you see that it is not centered fully, you can configure it, right? What you need to do, you need to simply think about the spacing before and after that if you want. Cool. Now I have implemented binary hexadecimal octal exit and clear. Now I need to work on the next screen. All right, before configuring the next screen, let me simply create another class and a fictional file and configure that as well. After then I can simply work on this. All right, so how can I do that? I can simply create another two classes. One is main class and another one would be a controller class. So let's say I'm gonna name it next screen, and I'm gonna create another class named next screen controller, like this. Now I'm gonna create another fxml file here under the resource and the form.calculator.base calculator, and I'm gonna name it something like next screen view. Okay, it would generate the fxml right here. Now I need to copy something from the previous classes to here to create the template successfully. So change the last name from hello application to next screen, and I'm gonna do the same thing for this next screen controller. So I can simply copy all of them from the hello controller and paste it here, and I can simply change the last name from hello controller to next screen controller. All right, now I can delete these because I don't need them right now. In the next screen, I'm gonna removing this previous resolution and the text title as well. I'm gonna keep the same text title as I used in the main landing. You can use any other title if you want. So this conversion calculator. All right, now I'm gonna specify that it would handle not the hello q fxml but uh, next screen uh, view.fxml. All right, now in the next screen view fxml, I'm gonna change the controller from next screen view to next screen controller. That's it. Now I need to configure the fxml, so I can simply right click here and next screen view, right click here and open in Scenebuilder. Now I need to make some changes to make it look like this, just to test if you can get to the next screen. So this is very simple. I can simply add a label here, label, yeah, label right here, and change the text to something like this just to test. Let me simply add here just to, sorry, if you can get to the next screen. I can simply copy and paste it here, click enter. So here you go. Now I need to change the font size. Simply click on font and let's say font size to something like 36. No, it's too big. Let's say 24. You can manually change it. Let's say 26. Now let me take it to something like this middle. Control P to show. Yeah, it looks kind of good. Control S to save. And now what I also need to do, I need to have a button go back. It would simply revert back to our main landing. All right, so I can add a button here Let me simply change it to go back, press enter, and let me change it to something like middle. Yep, yeah, it looks good. All right, now I need to configure the button. So let's say button, and go to, sorry, go to code and give it a name. For example, uh let me simply name it something like return button, and I can use the same name as the method name here. Control S, click here, click clear, and again Control S. Sorry, I have removed it from here. Let's say return button, click here, clear, return button, and I can use the same name. Oops, I did something wrong here. No, I don't need any fx id to this panel, so I can simply delete and save it. I need only the fx id for this go back button, return button, and on action return button method. Cool. Now simply go to view, show sample controller skeleton, grab these fxml data, and go to IntelliJ IDEA, and go to next screen controller, and simply paste this here. Simply click on these red colored codes and alt enter, import class. Do the same thing for here as well, alt enter, import class. Cool. Now I need to configure something here. So yeah, I can use try catch blocks, so that if something bad happens, it doesn't exit the code, but it show me what wrong is actually happening here. All right, so I can simply declare a parent class. Let me name it parent root, the object name, and what I want it to do is that I want uh, something like this. Whenever the user press the go button, it would open the main landing view fxml, the previous window. All right, so I can use something like fxml loader dot load. Now it need to add a get class and get resources from where, from the main landing view fxml. Now I need to provide the fxml file's name here, so that would be main landing view dot fxml. If you worry about something goes wrong, you can simply click on main landing view fxml, right click on here and copy path. You can simply get the file name here. I need only the file name for now, so I can simply control v paste, and that's it. Add a semicolon at the end, and yep, it's asking me for the catch block. I'm going to implement that right away, so I don't need to worry about that right now. And then again, let's say return button dot get scene, return button got get scene dot set root to my this root object, like this. Yep, now I need to add the catch block. So in the catch block, I would add a simple catch block like let's say funny, and it would print in the console error, can't load, let's say main can't load the previous page. You can use any other custom message you want. It would simply generate this message in this terminal if something bad happens. All right, now let's see whether it's working or not. I can simply run the next screen plus next screen file just to test if you can get to a next screen. Let me simply click go back. Voila, it works. Now I need to configure this next screen button so that whenever we click next screen, it gets to the next screen view fxml. All right, now let me simply exit this, and I can simply close this because I have completed doing everything here. Now I need to open the main landing view fxml, open in Scenebuilder, click on next screen because I need to configure this next screen button. Let me simply name it something like next screen button. Control S to save. Oops, what I did wrong. All right, I'm gonna check that later, and I'm gonna use this same. Sorry, I'm gonna use another method for it. Let's say I'm giving the same name, next screen button. Control S to save. Click on view, show sample controller skeleton, grab the FXML for the private button, and go to main landing controller. Let me simply add the button here, and now let me grab this next screen button method, and let me simply add that here for now. Now I need to configure the next screen button, so I'm gonna do the kind of same thing what I did earlier. So I can simply copy and paste that from here, like I can copy and paste this try and catch block from the return button, and I can use the same thing here, but I need to change the resources. All right, so first of all, parent root fxml loader get class get resources, fine. Now it would generate, I mean it would call the next screen view fxml. So right click here, go to copy path, and I need only the file name here, so I can simply use the file name like this. Now here the button name is next screen button, not return button. All right, so I can simply use next screen button dot get scene get root, and again I can simply change the catchphrase from here, can't load the previous page, to can't load the next page. I think it's enough, I guess. And yeah, let me simply try whether it's working perfectly or not. Main landing, let me simply open my main landing. If I simply click next screen, yeah, it's getting me to the next screen. If I click go back, it's getting me to the previous screen. So our project has been finished. All right, now let me simply test it again, and if everything looks good, I can simply push it to my GitHub. Let's say 34 binary, cool, hexadecimal, fine, octal, fine. Let's say 98 to binary, hexa, octal, clear. All right, now let's say some negative value like -23 binary, hexa, octal, cool, it works fine. Next screen, go back, exit. So our project has been finished. Now I would recommend you to clear some cluttering, like from the main landing controller I have created a lot of spaces. You can simply remove those extra spaces, and you can add these label or button earlier like this, and keep all of the method serially one by one like this. It's actually up to you. I'm not gonna worry about that right now, but I would recommend you to do the same thing for your case as well. All right, and that's it. Let me simply push it to my GitHub. I can simply commit all of them and complete project, commit and push, commit and event push. So that's it. Now let me simply check my GitHub. Yeah, the push has been added here. So what I can do, I don't need these release and packages, so I can simply disable those here, release package. I don't need the environment as well. Now I can simply add some topic, let's say JavaFX application. Java fx Java fxml base calculator. It's not here. Let's say binary octal hexadecimal. You can add a lot of things relevant to your project. Simply click save changes. That's it. Now I would show you how you can polish something more. For example, I don't need this hello application and hello controller anymore, so I can simply delete those. So how you can do that? Simply right click hello application and go to delete. Click all of those, save, delete, search in command string, search for text occurrences, click OK. I would change the default configuration of this project anyway, so I can simply click delete anyway. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this hello controller, delete. Okay, delete anyway. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this hello view fxml, delete. Okay, cool. Now let me show you something more. Go to pom.xml. Let's see. Default configuration. I need to change the main class from this hello application to my main landing, so I can do main landing. All right, now all right, it looks good. Now let me simply solve these errors from the main landing. Let's say fxml loader, new fxml loader. I need to change this hello application from hello application to main landing class get resources. Let me see something. Yeah, I need to do the same thing to this next screen as well, from hello application to, let's say, main landing. Now if I simply run, yeah, it works great. Let's see, invalid input clear, go back, exit. So that's it. Now I won't get any error from here at all. Cool. Now let me check the pom.fxml again, whether I have missed something important from here or not. Let's see. Base calculator main landing, cool. That's it. Now I can commit these changes all. Let's say remove hello application default main landing, commit and push. That's it. Now let me show you whether it actually works from the repository or not. I can simply clone my repository and I can delete my previous one, and I can simply clone it here. Let's say git clone. All right, now let me simply open this on my IntelliJ IDEA or IDE, and let's say open and desktop, then base calculator. Okay, trust project. Now simply give it some time to scan all of them. All right, now let's say if I simply try to open this project, it works. All right, it works. But if you see something different, like it's not working or something like that, what you can do, you can simply go to pom.xml and you can remove these from here. That would be com.calculator.base calculator and main landing. Now if I simply reload it, it works, you see, right? Let me do it again. Yeah, it's working. So it works. So that's it, everyone. I hope you have understood how I created that project, and I have tried my best to show you all of the processes step by step so that you can also do that from scratch like me. Now, if this video helps you, then consider subscribing to my channel and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you want, you can follow me in GitHub, GitLab, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, or in any other platform you want. I'll provide all of the link in this video's description box. So that's it. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you in another video. Till then, take care. Ta-da!